Oh, thanks very much, Steph.
Thank you. It is 9 minutes to 7. Now, when you talk about the First World War, you probably think immediately of the foreign battlefields of France and Belgium, but the Great War also, of course, had a massive impact on those who remained at home.
Events are taking place across Britain today, marking the role played by people back here.
And Breakfast Leah Gooding is in Oldbury in the West Midlands. Very good morning to you, where they really made a significant contribution. Morning.
8 minutes past 7, let's bring you some other news this morning. A 7-hour humanitarian ceasefire to allow people in parts of Gaza to return to their homes and get supplies has been declared by the Israeli military.
It is due to start in the next hour, but Israel has stressed it will retaliate if it comes under attack. Mark Sanders reports. More and more GP surgeries are offering patients telephone appointments to save doctors' time, but the first major study into their use suggests that they don't save time at all.
The British Medical Association research found that when nurses and GP staff rang back patients, the number of times people sought follow-up advice rose by a third. Here's our health correspondent, Jane Dreeper. I watched it. It was marvellous.
Did you?
Yes, it was marvellous. It really brought a lovely end to a great 11 days of competition. It's 14 minutes past 7. We're going to get to Carol in a few minutes. She's got the weather for us.
Let's take you back to our main story here this morning. And when Britain entered into World War I, the then Foreign Secretary, Sir Edward Grey, said that the lights are going out all over Europe.
The Royal British Legion is asking people across the UK to switch off their lights between 10 and 11 o'clock this evening as part of a campaign of remembrance.
Let's talk about that, other things too. We're joined now by the very that people will be able to watch that service later. Thank you.
Let's go to Carol. Let's find out what the weather has in store. Also to come on Breakfast. Communities up and down the UK made a massive contribution to the war effort. We've got Leah Gooding, who's in the West Midlands, who's finding out just how far
involvement in that bidding process.
Sorry, thank you very much. See you a little bit later. Thank you.
7:37 now. When we think of the First World War, most of us remember the date, the 11th of November, when the war came to an end. However, today, the 4th of August, isn't as widely known.
But today does mark the 100th anniversary of Britain declaring war on Germany. The conflict saw the introduction of forced conscription, and up to 1 million British men lost their lives.
Today, serving soldiers will be among those paying their tributes at a ceremony for Commonwealth countries in Glasgow. Charlie's at the city's cathedral. See you soon.
Now, throughout the war, around 900,000 people lost their lives fighting for the British Army in World War I.
Very few people living in the UK now, though, who haven't been touched by the enduring legacy of this conflict.
And I very much come from a military family, so what I've...
Family history, and your father's been trying to figure out the history of all of those gentlemen in that photograph. And today, days like today prompt so many memories and gratitude for those who fought for us.
And as I said, when you see that photograph, my dad hasn't had time yet, but he is going to go through that photograph and find out how many of them actually lived through the war, because I was lucky. Both of my great uncles survived, which is incredible. If you've got family photos you want to share with us, please do. You can email us at bbcbreakfast@bbc.co.uk.
You can tweet them as well using the hashtag BBC Breakfast, or follow us for the latest from the programme. Thank you to all of you who've sent photos in so far.
Thank you. Carol has a look at this morning's weather for us again. Morning again.
Morning. It's a lot of interest, isn't it, Steph? Thanks very much.
Thank you very much. You are watching Breakfast, and we have a special programme this morning marking the centenary of the start of Britain's involvement in World War I.
When you talk about the First World War, you probably think of the foreign battlefields of France and Belgium, but the Great War also had a massive impact on those who remained at home.
And today, events are taking place across Britain to mark the role played by people back here. Breakfast Leah Gooding is in Oldbury in the West Midlands for this morning. Very good morning to you, where they made a significant contribution. Morning.